Markiplier. You know who this guy is?
Hey baby, how you doing?
But do you really know who this guy is, huh?
My name is Markiplier, and I've done drugs.
Quite frankly, that's fine. I don't know too much about him either. But one thing I do know a lot about here at R9 Beats is Pokemon. Mr. Markiplier has a very popular video on whether or not he would smash or pass every single Pokemon,
Containing such very viral, sensational moments here, such as...
Pass. 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 Pass.
Wow.
Can you believe it? This guy actually does that over 700 times.
Quite thrilling, I know.
He actually admits he performed the dirty with quite a few of these pocket monsters. You know, just a majestic wildlife that Mark here decides, you know what?
I'll just take that, put it right here, in my butt.
It's beautiful. Big, too.
But there's so many of them that he would smash. I was wondering, can you beat Pokemon only using the Pokemon that Markiplier himself would smash?
Well, yeah, you could. You know, he's got a lot of very strong Pokemon here.
So how about a hardcore Nuzlocke instead? You know, the whole 9 yards? You know, no overleveling, stuck in set mode, and if you're facing battle,
you're just gonna have to put out of its misery, you know, step forever.
You know, there's more than a few Pokemon games if you haven't noticed, and it's some of Mark's tastes in fictional monsters here.
Really making me reconsider, you know, reconnecting with my long-lost friend, you know, God,
The Holy Spirit and His Son Jesus. So, what better way to do this than employ a fellow Christian Pokemon channel?
Or a champion of the sorts, you know, that's his name, a Christian Pokemon champion.
Sup? Need your help here. I'm really getting myself into some very unholy areas of the YouTube interwebbing. I think I just need someone, you know, anyone, just to be there for me and suffer the same pain. But not too close, you know, that would be a little bit too weird. 2 different Pokemon games. You know, I was thinking I'll tackle, you know, Pokemon X.
And maybe you could take a sword and impale yourself, you know, just so you feel the same type of pain.
Or I could just play Pokemon Sword.
Or you could do that.
You know, it sounds about the same to me.
I was very vocal in the last video of how Pokemon X is the most overhated Pokemon game by far. I'll never understand why. Come on, just look.
Markiplier is even the professor in this generation.
Add that to your collection of everyone that looks like you. Prince f***ing Charming over here.
Right after he appears, he makes sure to give us a lesson on how the hospital wouldn't let him go home unless he farted or something like that. You know, I wasn't too interested in paying attention. Somehow that was the #1 trend on Twitter. Can you believe that?
We eventually get into choose our character, and what character would be more befitting for a journey, you know, completing the ultimate Markiplier Super Smash run
than Mr. Game Theory himself.
Yeah, I know you're gonna say,
no, we don't look anything like Matthew Patrick yet. But I have a theory. We may look like him, you know, later on, you know.
Pokemon X and Y were the
First games, after all, you could fully customize your characters.
You see that, internet? I told you, it's a good game.
Even though for some reason you couldn't take off your hat. No idea why they decided to do that.
Also, our mom in this game is a Pokemon equivalent to a famous NASCAR driver. Instead of, well,
at NASCAR,
she rides a Rhyhorn. You know, most kids, they have dogs as pets. With me,
I have rock rhinoceroses. We were greeted by our neighbors and 2 out of 4 of our rivals in this game, which makes for a very interesting hardcore Nuzlocke to say the least.
And then we're asked to choose our starter. And Professor Markiplier himself left for us. The starters here are one of the real reasons that we're playing Pokemon X after all. As Mark here has a fancying for the Greninja.
He said he would actually smash it.
I mean, was it based 100% off this tongue scarf thing? Who knows? Who am I to judge? But since Mark said that he wouldn't smash any of the pre-evolutions of Greninja, I thought it would only be fair to have CBC, you know, a true hacker of technologies, perform an insertion. And though he must be pretty good at this thing, because he only did it with one hand. You know, since his other hand was firmly grasped around the Bible. And you know what? I'm very glad he did this for me. If not, I may have never noticed that Mark might be a thigh guy this whole time. Or he just really likes frog legs, I guess.
I did hear they taste like chicken. Chicken McNugget.
You know, even though we have a fully evolved level 5 Greninja, it's not exactly much of a blowout as you may think. I almost lost right here. This could have really marked the end for us. After winning the battle, we tell our mom that we are one of the 5 Digidestins to be Pokemon Masters, and we give our boy Ryan McGee, the Rock Rhinoceros, one last ride. For family. I don't know when I'll see you again, buddy. But I'll see you again. Whoa! Even though we can't name our rivals technically in this game, but someone as Stephanie Patrick canonically. I asked the bigwigs here at Nintendo and they said, it's a theory! It's a fucking game theory! You know, Stephanie here is a true rival of this game. We'll interact with her far more often than the others. And that's especially true for Pokedex geek Ian Hecox from Smosh over here. Very round boy. Hey, but you better not judge a book by its cover. This guy loves to break it down sexual style. You know, he's a man of the artistic dance. Right down to his Pokemon moves. His name is Tierno. You know, I'll call him Mr. T.
Take it from me, Mr. T.
To the standalone gym. There's just a big bug museum. Except instead of actual living or preserved insects, there's just big old paintings of them. Oh, and a stripper pole that leads to a human-sized spiderweb. We then have some unskippable battles, thanks to most of the web here being a web of lies. You know, very relatable cringe, cry, no one loves me teenager behavior here that would only be fitting of none other than a photographer gym leader that specializes in bug types. Now, what the frog do does show you exactly what he do. That is, blow a lot of bubbles until your little bugs go down the water spell, washing away any doubt. And with the bug gym defeated and our very first gym badge, we can now acquire our second Pokemon of our run. So we don't have to worry about being too big chungus over levels for the next gym. Of course, we get a bug of our own, who evolves into, just a creature that Professor Markiplier said that he would smash. So we call it Bumby and continue onwards in this very complicated world that is Markiplier. Our travels then lead us to Paris, France. No, famous for its croissants, French fries, the Eiffel Tower, and Professor Markiplier. One of the only people in the world that could actually afford to work this close to the Eiffel Tower. You know they filmed Rush Hour 3 here? The best movie ever, Mark. How dare you have that one over me as well? You think you're better than me now because you live closer to the Rush Hour Tower? Oh, look at me, Markiplier, very handsome man, 32 million subscribers. Life's not fair. 30 million subscribers? You guys can't go down there and just click the button? You guys can't do that? I may have not prepared properly for meeting the professor himself, because while I was avoiding eye contact like an introvert, Mark here was a true Chad and made eye contact with just about everyone and everything, and nothing was safe from Mark's glare, and that resulted in me failing to beat the professor here in a battle. And I forgot this battle even existed. I thought he was just going to open up the briefcase, maybe get a second starter, and CPC binary coded into the Matrix for me, but instead, I was left with nothing but defeat. You don't actually black out here, because I don't think the game was sure that you could even this one up. Pretty sure that actually thought that there's no chance someone could lose here. For that reason, I think the game acts as if you won here, even when you lose. Now I understand your lesson, Professor. I'll never be unprepared ever again. Thank you, Professor Chisel-Face Korean Chad. I gotta say, these starters are absolutely So, Christian, what do you gotta say for yourself here? I really thought you were him. Keanu Reeves of G's. Us. I returned to a previous route to train our Bumby and our Frog, and evolve it to Mark's supple liking of level 10 and older. Not my rules, his. Come across another evolutionary line of Pokemon that we can capture. Well, we can't use it until we get another gym badge. And that's Ralph's. We then head to our local cafe to taste nice breather, and we run into Lysander here. This game's Darkiplier, so to speak.
I'm Lysander. I have red hair.
And you're just casually chilling there with this Pokemon champion of France and the most famous movie star of all time, Ethan Crank Gameplays. Make for a very cute couple if you ask me. Tierno then shows us people can just pop up like a Tupac hologram whenever the they want. Being even worse than youngster Joey. We eventually run into a girl who is Lucario, really likes MatPat over here. Just a little bit too much. He's really digging our aura. I'm sorry, do I have to turn down one of the most useful and easily obtained Mega Evolutions in the game? Yes, but do I gotta stick with whatever, Markiplier would give or take his stick to? Yeah, that's yes as well. But on this route, we are blessed with our very first battle of Mr. T, who unfortunately only has one Pokemon. I could have swore there was another one. Oh, there it is. Just sleeping. And we have to obtain musical instruments to wake it up. Basically, just the plot of Link's Awakening. Said instruments that we can only come across at the Joestar Mansion. And no overly gold-plated, gold-encrusted mansion is complete without our instrument, or a portrait of someone. Just so you get the fuck out of the way for our double battle here with Stephanie on our side against Ian from Smosh, and Mr. T himself, of course. But they're no match for the Froggy Scarf duo! The problem here is that they're still my friends, and I think they may have taken it a little bit too personal, because now I got no one to join me at the aquarium. You're really missing out here on this shiny statue. Get it? Because the Magikarp is gold? No? Maybe this is why I have no friends. We finally get to use our rock rhinoceros riding to good use. I'm traveling on the back of a rhyhorn, busting up rocks to find fossils. It's not my first rodeo, but you know what? It is my first rodeo. Dealing with the mafia. Team Flair, of course. Seems very red. Almost like someone or something. You know, I can't quite remember what it was. You know. Can you guys see it?
My hair is red.
We head over to the rock gym, which is literally just a free climbing rock wall. No harness. You see how high some of this gets? You really want to be liable for a few children's death as they plummet to the ground? Do you? Although it is the rock gym, you know, it's not as easy as you would expect. One water pulse from What the Frog Do isn't enough to take out Amora here, so we end up getting paralyzed and narrowly avoid getting hit from a takedown next turn. But next out is Tyrant. That goes for a bite, which is not very good, not at all, because between getting flinched by bite and paralyzing, we may never live to move ever again. Unfortunately, however, that doesn't happen, meaning that we can go for water pulse, even though it's not enough to kill him on the first try. So on the next turn, we get hit by a stomp that does some crazy damage. We don't take a flinch or paralyzation, leading for us to get our second gym badge. How are you gonna have a giant rock climbing tower and a waterfall in your gym? What are you, just the coolest fucking gym leader ever, huh? We run into dual-wielding Lucario Rollerblade Lady again, who wants to battle us with her 2 Lucarios at relatively the same level as our 1 frog. And this fight I wasn't prepared for in the slightest. For these dumb things only go for Sword Stance and Metal Sound. Every 6-year-old kid in their mama's basement knows not to use non-damaging moves in Pokemon. At least the second Lucario goes for a hit, but you know what? It's just too late. Professor Markiplier then appears to us as if he's a Robert Kardashian hologram purchased by genius Kanye West for his ex-wife's 40th birthday party, just to thank us for defeating Lucarios, or something. You know, I don't know. Can't read. But that's not before super training our team to prepare ourselves for some of the hardships ahead. I mean, come on. Bumby hasn't even been used in any major battle yet. I mean, because of its scarcely frail figure. We're gonna have to make this thing fast and strong to overcome life's hurdles. You know, we all have problems we gotta overcome. You know, Bumbies are just much larger. And I mean much larger. I mean, it's kind of life or death with him. You know, that's not to mention that his arms are not so good. Can't really do too much with those things. Unless you're Markiplier, I guess. What do I know? Before we can challenge the gym, we have to head to the Lucario Convention Center and prove to the furry family that we deserve the Mega Evolution powers or whatnot. To do so, we have to beat Stephanie in a rival battle. And what was it all for? Well, we'll get into that a little bit later. Luckily, we didn't overlevel for this one, and Soy Boy has more than enough juice to take out all of Karina's fighting-type Pokemon with just confusion. And what was it all for, like I said? Just so we can adopt a non-usable Mega Lucario in a very non-optional story fight, gifting us the power of Mega Evolution. Will we ever be able to use this Mega Evolution this run? No. Did I think that Mega Beedrill was in this game? Yes. Who cares? You got to ride the GOAT himself. All the worries are gone now. You know, one very small error on Mastermind CPC's part here yet again. Failed to tell me that Markiplier would indeed smash a Lapras. And when gifted Lapras, I made the mistake to name it past the second. I don't personally agree with Mark's choice here. You think I'm going to complain that Mark would do that with it? Oh no, it's a very good Pokemon. It's right after a gym, it's perfect. And while training it in the desert to learn Ice Beam, for the upcoming grass gym, we catch our next Pokemon that we'll be able to use soon afterwards. Dugtrio, otherwise known as 3Ds. Well, you know, this clearly based off the console we're playing, you know. That's the reason. Or 3 Diglets. You know, it could be that too. After learning Ice Beam, we head over to the grass gym, you know, the jungle gym. Get it? You know, because like a jungle gym and a jungle gym. Past the second easily wipes out any chance that Scissorman would have had, even remotely, even dreamed of having, by freezing all of his plants in place, you know, with Canadian Winter Beam. So strong, in fact, he's one and only Pokemon that did survive and withstand to tell the tale. He was too shocked to speak. He really didn't have a chance at all. I don't really know why he even bothered surviving. I will never let any of my companions lose to such scum that is Scissorman. You say your name is Ramos. And that's clearly a cover-up. Nothing but a phony. You know, after this is not too eventful. You know, we just liberate a power plant from the red organized crime gang. Restore all the power to France. You know, no big deal. Just bada boom, bada bing. Oh, sorry, wrong country. But you get the. But before we can take on the electric-type gym leader, now that the Eiffel Tower has his power, it's time to get a game theory makeover and look more like the theorist and less like a tourist. And now, it's time to take on Clement. And we lead off with Pass the Second, because, you know, Moga here can't really do all that too much to us. Ice Beam will be super effective on it, but we get unlucky and it Volt switches out into Magneton. So our Ice Beam doesn't do all that much. But since we do get a free switch into 3Ds, thanks to Megaton going for an electric move, and these 3Ds are very grounded for some very sus behavior underground, meaning we can take it out next turn with some Earth Power, and eventually even take out the Helisk with many more Earth Powers. And really kind of close, actually. Back to his first Pokemon, actually, with the Molga coming back out here. So we switch back into Lapras, after getting hit by a Quick Attack and a Volt Switch again, finally one-shot KOing it with Ice Beam. You know, it may have not been the most action-packed Eiffel Tower battle ever, but it was pretty close to Rush Hour 3. Professor Five Nights at Freddy's, and then make sure to hologram FaceTime us right after this.
It's me, Professor Mark. Just want to let you know to meet us over at the My Hair is Red Cafe, where I'm with Markiplier.
Hey, Professor, you have any thoughts on Team Flare? You know, they're standing right out there outside the cafe. You know, you think there might be any connections, you know, you may be making there? You know, owning a cafe, you know, might be a front.
No, Matbat. Your theory is incorrect. There's no red flags here, just red hair. That's not why I called this meeting here. It's because Lysander here likes kids that can Mega Evolve. And I have no clue why, really. Here's a rock.
Okay, alright, we got a rock. And that leads right up to us catching another member of the team, Goomy, a Pokemon that Markiplier would indeed smash. You know, a dragon type that he would enjoy. Dragon his. And we swiftly head over to Damien's cabin, where the gang insists that we listen to this guy's haunted story.
There was this pizza shop. Totally not Chuck E. Cheese, but think Chuck E. Cheese with better pizza and animatronic character.
But anyways, here's a coupon. I think it's a good time for the next gym. You know, it's actually just up ahead after the cabin in the woods.
Don't worry, it's not the cabin in the woods. It's over there across the street.
It's a fairy gym where we are stuck inside a massive dollhouse and have to teleport all around. And I can even pretend I have wings. Sort of like Jesus. Or Bambi. This battle was very fun. We have a very back and forth battle on the very first matchup here with 3Ds versus Mawile. Thanks to Valerie healing it, you know, every time we got it within kill range, until eventually she runs out of the heals. Next up is her Mr. Mime, and I stupidly go for a sucker punch here while it sets up many screens. Meaning, well, I was the sucker, and there was no such punch. When I finally did land one, it did next to nothing. While on the other hand, I'm getting extremely damaged for these psychics, which leaves me into switching into Pass the Second, who doesn't also stand too much of a chance. So, it's up to What the Frog do, who surfs away the mime, leaving only Sylveon left, leaving it up to Bumby. Finally have his moment to poison jab away this Sylveon, and securing us the gym badge. And with the gym badge comes a responsibility to save a major corporation, so we have to save the Pokeball Factory from Team Flare. And this results in us losing a very major Pokemon here in the process. You know, one Pokemon is sort of like 3 Pokemon. It's that good. That's right. Yep. Today we say goodbye to 3Ds. A hero of not only France, but also Markiplier's heart. You know, right after we liberate the Pokeball Factory, get ourselves a Master Ball, and death of 3Ds, we get a call from Lysander.
Kid, I heard about you 3Ds. But they couldn't even Mega Evolve anyways. Do you know what Mega Evolving is? Of course you don't. Mega Evolving is a phenomenon of releasing all your power at once and going boom, just like dynamite. And dynamite is like TNT. Yeah, it's sort of like Minecraft. You know what Minecraft is? Minecraft creepers are pretty sus. Yep.
Oh, thanks for that. To take 3D's empty spot on the team, we go and catch a pumpkin ghost. You know, just to cover that grass and ghost coverage that we totally needed. I don't really have that much choice, you know, I'm running out of options here. But I guess Mark likes smashing pumpkins, huh? We then go on to save President Obama Snow from Team Flare in a cave, beat Stephanie for the 33rd time, and challenge the next gym on the Rainbow Road. Except there's no carts, and there's no rainbow. Or even a road for that matter. It's hardly even a path at the end of it. There is a gym leader named Olympia. You can't tell me this trainer isn't the inspiration behind Lunala and Cosmog. And that's not just a theory either, okay? I'm pretty sure this is Cosmog's mob. You know, I'm not too sure how. Maybe Mark knows a little bit more about breeding Pokemon. Maybe I should just give him a call on the hologram machine. But after finally remembering that Sigilif is indeed a flying type, I take it out with an Ice Beam from Pass the Second, who ends up being put asleep from Slowking, resulting in me using magical
leaves, believe it or not, from Gardevoir, leaving only Meowstic, who hits us with a very, very hard ball of shadows, resulting in us to switch to Pass the Second, who doesn't wake up and ends up being hit with Psychic, making me do this genius 5-brain move of mine, predicting the AI, might do the same thing twice, God forbid they do the same thing twice every time. Going into what the frog do, one thing that the frog does do is not get hit by Psychic moves, thanks to it being a very dark Pokemon. So we outspeed on the next turn and win the battle with Surf, and there's no time to celebrate, because Lysander here does a mass hologram call all around the Pokemon world, or at least France. And he soon after reveals he's been the leader of Team Flare all along. You don't say. We go to Lysander's cafe, beat up all his waiters, and unlock the secret entrance to the bad guy lair.
I have red hair.
I'm not gonna even lie, this battle wasn't even close. You sure you got this secret weapon after all? What are we talking? You Shadow the Hedgehog, the secret weapon? Right after this, we battle more and more members until making it to the prison where Lysander is taking a 3,000-year-old man in for custody. No, seriously. This guy was alive for so long, he even warns him that the ultimate weapon in the past sacrificed thousands of Pokemon and people to resurrect his companion Pokemon, Floret. All I'm gonna say is, make sure that thing doesn't evolve around Mark, okay? Of course, Lysander doesn't listen to the 3,000-year-old man, and we're forced to battle the final minion. Upon beating him, we get a 50-50 chance of saving the world. And even if you guess correctly, just by picking the correct color of the game's mascot you have here, he goes on to decide, you know what? We're shooting the laser beams off anyways. I don't care, Chief. You know what that means? More battles over at Stonehenge, where we battle Lysander again, and multiple double battles with elected officials of the Red Hair Mafia. Yeah! I'm not too sure how this guy got on the team. Before finally making it to the end, we have an epic proportion battle with Xerneas, Pokemon God of Life, capable of reviving the dead. But you know what? That's not enough criteria for Markiplier to smash. He's not very interested in this one, so we just throw a Master Ball at it, and then we gotta battle Doc Ock, Lysander again. Just for the third time in 2 hours. I'm not too sure how his Pokemon keep growing on the same scale as us, While I'm taking on every single member of a criminal organization. He just shows up like nothing ever happened. Much stronger Pokemon. Just come clean. Are you Pokemon juicing? Is that it? I can now see that he can Mega Evolve now. No Mega stands a chance against Friendship. Have you guys ever watched anime? Sorry, not Friendship. Mark's smashing taste in Pokemon, and nothing stands a chance against that, of course. Lysander's plans are foiled yet again. Making their laser go boom boom. Mark is very impressed when he hears the news. So much so, he holograms calls us to 1v1 him in the next village over. Oh yeah, is that how it's gonna be? You know what? I can't just 1v1 Professor Mark without MatPat's final upgrade. That's right. I'm talking about the famous red jacket he wore in every goddamn picture back in the day. It's sort of like our Super Saiyan God form of Matthew Patrick. Now we're a fully blooded theorist. We have the knowledge flowing through us. With such knowledge as Luigi's eggplant size, or if Mario is a sociopath. Up there with Jake Paul. I made sure to humiliate this man by only using one Pokemon. Oh, that's it, nothing else needed. And then immediately have a boss rush, battling not one, but 3 rivals back to back. Don't even stand a single chance, I've grown too powerful. I can't be smashed. And not even by 3 rivals back to back. I make sure to catch an emo girl, just in case we suffer any more casualties. And then we challenge the next gym. The Tetris Gym, where, thanks to the power of TMs and HMs, I focus blast and surf away all the ice Pokemon here. That's right, no iceberg dog can stop me. Who do I look like, the Titanic? Granting us full access to the Elite Four in Victory Road, where we encounter the final rival battle. And this battle was really one of attrition, as we lose a member who's been with us almost as long as What the Frog do himself. That's right, I'm talking about Bumby. In a true crushing turn of events, may have won the battle, but at what cost? There's only one thing to do after such a tragic event. To go to catch a new Pokemon to take over its place. I was really worried about the newer Pokemon on our team. Honestly, I got really bored of training them, so they're probably Before we head into the beautiful Elite Four Chapel of the Pokemon Gods, our dual pipe, also known as Conkeldurr, has the ability Guts, so I attempt to get burned off the most annoying rock smash encounter ever, and I have no luck whatsoever. I went to one of the trainers that I ended up skipping, who was a static Pichu, and settled for paralyzing it. Just since we already have terrible speed.
Look. I'm Conkeldurr Joe.
And now it's time for the final 5 battles in the entire game, feeding the Elite Four and the champion of France. The Elite Four, along with the gym leaders before it, have some of the best designed rooms of all Pokemon games, giving us some extra love if you ask me. Whether it be the Water Temple Elite Four room, or the Dragon Rathalos room, where the where the wings almost knock you right out. Can't forget about the steel large dual keyblade room. Or you got your good old simple sauna room here, with a few extra pyrotechnics, where we actually end up taking on our first member here. After all, we do have 2 very strong water types, and this is by far the least difficult member. That doesn't mean it's going to be exactly easy. You know, what the frog do easily deals with Pyroar and Talonflame, leaving Lapras to surf away the Fire Turtle and the Ghost Chandelier. Yo, but the next 3 battles, not so easily done. I mean, even if we froze the Dracalgy right after this, and Dazzling gleamed away her Druddragon, Altaria, and Noivern, the Magical Leaf, his Clawitzer, for some reason was way easier than it should have been. But then comes out his Gyarados. So, we go back into past the second, narrowly almost passes away after an Earthquake from Gyarados. Yeah, but it's still 4 times weak to Thunderbolt, so take that! Maybe you should have Mega'd Bozo. Leaving Barbacle. And 1 superpower is more than enough to take that thing straight out, leaving him down to only Starmie. And knowing that this thing is most likely going to go for a killing blow of Psychic, I switch into What the Frog Do, and take it out easily with a single Dark Pulse. I know what it looks like, but hear me out here. The next one, it's not going to be so easy. We open up with Dual Piped and go for a super effective Dig, while many spikes are being laid above us. Dig isn't quite enough, and Facade isn't either, thanks to him healing. And this is very important, so you remember that part right there. But eventually, we get the Dig to hit, and finally, knock out the first Pokemon. All that work just for a pair of keys. Next out is Steve Harvey, or insert funny joke, haha, right here. Bite that. This battle ain't no joke, because we fully get paralyzed next turn and get hit by a Flash Cannon. And it's very crucial because this thing has Sturdy, so no matter what, it's going to take 2 moves to knock this thing out. And next turn, we're fully paralyzed again, and we narrowly survive. And we're going to have to bring in someone else to deal with this. So we bring in the Frog, who even though is a much better matchup for this, has very struggling back and forth. You know, thanks to healing and surfs. You know, until finally taking it out, and we only have 1 HP. A singular hit point. It's like a Techno Rave in this game because our HP is so low. And even without speeding the Slash and it being in its sword form, we are unable to take it out with a Shadow Ball, and Plumpkaboo goes down. Might make it the first Ghost to pass away twice. Leaving it up to none other than Pass to defeat the Generation 8 Pokemon game's true mascot, and then go up against the final Pokemon, standing between us and the champion, Scizor. This thing is rival worthy of our time. You know, not only is it a Scissorman, but also every single one of our Pokemon stands no chance against this thing. But you know what? This battle was only close after all, because this son of a bitch used so many full restores. I'm tired of them getting away with that. I'm gonna do the same thing. I just don't care anymore. It's just not fair. We go for 2 Ice Beams, dealing about half. As we're living on a CPC of a prayer of 15 HP over here, we heal up and defeat it. And yes, I only used 1 full restore. So if you're mad, it's too bad. You know what? Alright. If you're mad, slap a like. And taking Willy Wonka's glass elevator to the top to finally battle with French champion Ethan Crank's gameplay. Battle starts off with Halucha versus Soy Boy, and much to my disbelief, we're actually even outsped here, and nearly go down to a very strong poison jab. Luckily, we hang on just barely and take out the Halucha with a Psychic. We're not really off to a good start here. She then brings in her own Gourgeist, so I go into Dual Pipe as she sets up a Phantom Force. This works in our favor because we easily survive this and are able to return the damage with a Payback, which does twice the amount of damage. So next turn, it places some kind of voodoo curse on us called Trick or Treat that made us a Ghost type, and we hit it with a second Payback. So what was it? Did I hit you with a trick, or did I hit you with a tree? She then goes into our Amoris. So big brain play here, I go for a Dig as she sets up a light screen, but it's not nearly enough. Get out with a superpower as we narrowly avoid a Blizzard next turn. But we aren't as lucky when the next Pokemon comes out, Goodra, who takes us out with a few Dragon Pulses. But you know what? You're not the only one with a dragon. I also got one of those. You sleep well, Gooissy. Soy Boy comes back in to take out the Goodra next turn with a Dazzling Gleam, and repeats the process to the very unlucky Jurassic Park Pokemon that comes in afterwards, leading up to our final Pokemon versus Gardevoir. What's that? Make a Mega? This isn't looking so good. So it's up to Pass the second, who takes a Thunderbolt to the face, and returns the favor with a much less effective Ice Beam, before finally meeting its end next turn. You know what? I'll never forget you, buddy. For being a Pokemon that I didn't even know I could use, you really ended up being one of the best. Not just the best. Maybe the best thing that ever happened to me. I'm gonna win this for you. It's up to What the Frog Do in a very do-or-die situation. If we don't one-hit KO hit here, we're easily done by 1 Moose Blast, which is a guaranteed KO. In a last-ditch effort, I go for Waterfall, and we defeat the Pokemon Master of France, forever deleting the Unis Honest channel, all while using only Pokemon that Markiplier himself would smash. Thank you guys so much for watching. If you enjoyed, make sure to watch my video on Clock Tower or some other videos here. I've been R9, and I hope you had yourselves a damn good time.